What's going on there, guys? Good evening. Good Monday evening. It is your Earthmaster here on this Monday, April 25th, 2022 date, about 7 p.m. West Coast time here in California. The latest quake shows a 3.1 earthquake here into the area of South America, right there in the Peru-Chile Trench once again. Let's go ahead and check out the latest activity here on the USGS map. Showing some movement out there in Puerto Rico, quite a bit of uptick in activity there, including a 4.0 that struck here near the Dominican Republic just a short time ago, looks like. Actually, this morning it looks like that one kicked off. There's some other earthquake activity here within the last hour, 3.3, up here towards the northern end of the Puerto Rico Trench. And we'll bring up the all magnitudes here and see if they add on a couple more earthquakes here around the Puerto Rico area. Looks like about 22 earthquakes in this area of the Puerto Rico region. The rest of the Caribbean plate looks pretty quiet. One earthquake out here off the coast of Nicaragua. That's going to be an aftershock sequence there, 4.2 from the 6.7 that struck there a couple days ago now. 6.7 there on the 21st. Looking at the rest of the Middle America Trench, one earthquake up here further north into the just off the coast of Mexico there, northern end of the Middle America Trench at 4.4. Pretty shallow though at 10 kilometers. Up and down the west coast here, looking at the 2.5 and above, not a whole lot to report. One earthquake here in the Ferndale, California area. That was way earlier this morning at 2.7. Let's add the all magnitudes on here and see if we can add a few numbers on. Looks like another earthquake here just to the east here of the 2.7 and 1.8. Both of these earthquakes pretty deep down into the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. While we're on that, let's go ahead and check out the tremor map here at the Cascadia. I believe that is updated. Looks like 109 epicenters, so we're ramping things up a little bit. Today is the 25th. The 25th, 109 epicenters. Mainly, actually, it looks like they're all centered here around this part of Oregon. Now remember, this is down dip, downstream, so ultimately pressure being applied upstream towards the locked area as we see the tremor movement take place down dip there about 45 kilometers below into that subduction zone area. One earthquake here at the, where is this? Willows, California, just outside of Willows. A 2.1. This one's pretty deep though, 25 kilometers deep. And I do know that the southern end, kind of the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone kind of swoops down here a little bit. If you can picture in your mind, it doesn't dip too far, much further south in here, but it kind of dips underneath the North American plate here within this region. But that's a deep earthquake here outside of Willows. I'm not for sure. It has been reviewed, 25 kilometers. And I don't think this is, let's see where this is at. Kind of up before you get into the foothills. Now I know there is a fault system, a thrust fault system. It's not showing it here on the map. And this could have something to do with the Great Valley Thrust Zone. It sits just here on the western side of the Sacramento Valley. So yeah, sometimes we get those deeper movement quakes here out along the western side. Eastern part of Sierra Nevada, a little spotty earthquake activity here south of Reno, south of Lake Tahoe. Looks like just shy of the Antelope Valley area. Nothing big, just a couple small ones. No major movement to report around Long Valley supervolcano. In Ridgecrest area, only a handful of quakes as well. About, what do we got there? About 15, 14 earthquakes or so in that area of Ridgecrest. And one earthquake here in the 1.7 range at 6.8 kilometers there, just north of the Garlock Fault Zone. Southern California, not a whole lot going on. Just a little crunching up here, a little plate movement going on near Banning. A couple of earthquakes there. Some of that movement in Southern California deep though, 14, 16 kilometers up and down the San Jacinto Fault Zone. No major activity to report there in the Brawley seismic zone or the southern end of the San Andreas, right? Montana, what do we got? A couple earthquakes scattered out and about up there throughout the mountains. No major movement. Let's go ahead and check out the latest Yellowstone map just to clarify, see if we got anything popping up there. Looks pretty clear, folks. There was some earthquake activity this morning That's going to be these couple spikes of earthquakes. Since then, nothing really big going on. This is either weather movement or wind activity possibly coming into the region. That's shown up on all the graphs. No earthquake activity to report aside from those minor quakes earlier today. Oklahoma, a little bit of activity out here around Quinton and the Crowder area. 1.7 and a 2.5. The New Madrid zone, folks, pretty quiet. Nothing going on in Texas. Still pretty quiet there in the beautiful state of Texas. Let's check out the middle of the Pacific Ocean out here, the Big Island. Little activity spread out and about. A little bit of movement here around the Mauna Loa area. Just a couple small microquakes up around the crater, and the southeast flank showing some movement as well. One earthquake up here outside of Mauna Kea. This one pretty deep, 21 kilometers there for a 2.1. Lower Seamount looks pretty quiet except for one offshore. 2.1 at 33.3. There's those numbers again. 333. They always tend to pop up. What else we got here? This movement here, this was earlier today in the Coral Islands region, the 4.3 and the 5.2. No subsequent movement going on there since that activity. Eastern part of the Philippine Plate remains quiet as well. Some movement around Tonga and Fiji area with a return of some deep earthquake activity, including one here. Look at this, 4.6. 600 kilometers there, folks. That's pretty deep. Once we start getting over the 600 kilometer mark there, things start to cook. They get kind of gets the ball moving down there, so to speak, in terms of plate tectonics. So be on the lookout here. While it's not a large earthquake, these deeper movements can trigger a lot of subsequent activity upstream and areas adjacent up here to the north. Let's see, what do we got here? A little bit of movement here around the Java Trench. This one right into the Java Trench. 4.5 at 54.7 kilometers for that region. Australia looking pretty quiet as far as the USGS map shows. Some movement out in Afghanistan, also up here in the desert. A couple fours kicking off here. Other than that, folks, there's not a whole lot of major movement to report there in the earthquake department. Like I said, tremor activity kind of up there tonight, 109. Nothing major, but it is kind of a little uptick. Let's go ahead and check out volcanic seismicity here at Mount St. Helens. As we can see, they have not added any of those quakes that we've seen on the map yet. Still shows the last quake here, a 0.5 from a few days ago now. Let's go ahead and check out the Seismograph Station here and see if we got anything kicking back up here. Yeah, definitely can see this is just the last couple hours. Even with that, we can see the spikes indicated there on the seismograph. Let's go ahead and check out earlier today, earlier this afternoon on the previous UTC date, but technically still today, just UTC time. Yeah, little earthquake activity. Again, nothing like we had seen the previous day prior to this. A few spotty earthquakes showing up on the map. But definitely the previous day was looking pretty active, more active in terms of the multitude of quakes that was going on there at Mount St. Helens. And again, nothing being reported by the USGS or the PNSN network. Earthquakes Canada, as we zoom up here into the north. What do we got going on here? Well, looks like a little bit of activity up here. Of course, we had that earthquake that did get added finally onto these guys' maps here, 5.3. That was a quake at the northern end of the Cascadia a couple days ago. Since then, we've seen a little bit of movement upstream, up along the North American and Pacific Plate boundary. A couple small microquakes offshore. And the most recent earthquake looks like it's up here in Alaska, 1.9. Looks like about, earlier today, 4:25. So other than that, not a whole lot going on throughout the rest of the country. Some earthquakes outside of Ottawa, it looks like, or within the Ottawa region. Looks like a 2.4 kicking off there earlier today as well. Solar weather reports. Go ahead and check this out while we're on it. Things starting to crackle a little bit, pumping up, so to speak, in terms of possibly producing some more flares. Right now, at least over the last 24 hours, we did see one M flare, a couple of them actually there, two very low ones, and it's definitely trying to get back up there into the M category. There's a C flare, a long duration C flare, it looks like, with a subsequent CME. Not for sure if that's Earth directed or not. A lot of this activity coming from areas around the bend over here on the map over here, and also from these sunspots that are kind of they're still Earth facing us, but they're not they're starting to fade away, starting to rotate away from us. They really haven't been much of a show in terms of strong flares, but there is some subsequent spots here that are getting set up and dynamic looking, that could provide us with some solar excitement here in the coming days. But these here just kind of, they were beautiful, right? Beautiful spots on the sun, but man, were they disappointing. Very, very disappointing in terms of any strong flares. National Data Buoy System. I want to show you guys this again. I know a lot of people commenting on the previous updated video about a couple other channels talking about, that this is legit. But then again, like I say, folks, I've watched these buoys for quite some time. I've known these things myself, and I do know they have technical errors. And to see this type of 100-meter adjustment, whether it's the uprising of the seafloor or the dropping of the seafloor, one and the same, 100 meters is what, 328 feet? Any type of adjustment, whether it's swelling or deflation, would create a definite type of signature on other buoys around the area, and probably a tsunami at that. But we're just not seeing it. We didn't see it. We're not seeing it on any of these stations here. So I'm not for sure what's going on with it. I kind of wish that there was more buoy stations around the region, but I still think it's some type of glitch, folks. It's a ways away from the Java Trench. Has nothing to do with the Java Trench. It's way far away, 400 kilometers at least. So, but that's my take on it. Sometimes we see these buoys act up, and it's I just hate to see wrong information thrown out there, saying, oh man, it's caving in out there, the ocean floor is caving in, or there's a swelling going on out there. If there was that type of significant swelling or deflation in a short amount of time, folks, you think about the outcome, right? We would know about it. It'd be worldwide. We'd see a tsunami, or we'd see this event show up on other buoys. But it's just not there. So I try to preach the truth out here, folks. That's what I've done on this channel since I've opened it back in 2007. It's something that we try to stick to. Let's see, moving on. I don't see any other buoys out there showing any type of significant events for now, which is probably a good thing. But it definitely would be nice if they did bring up more buoys along this Java Trench area, because it's a major player in producing some significant size earthquakes. So I'm just really kind of not understanding why there's not more up there. This one here looks like it's not functionable. So, but it is what it is, folks, and we'll keep watching it. We'll keep watching the quakes. We'll keep watching the volcano activity, and see what takes place here. Only a 10% chance of a X flare, I should say, from these sunspots. 40% chance of an M flare. 95% chance of a C flare, and the geomagnetic storming, there is none for the next few nights here. Everything low key. Look at that 1% chance of M latitude storming. Only a 20% chance at higher latitude. So tough luck in seeing any type of aurora borealis up there at the northern higher latitudes, unfortunately. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here. Enjoy your Monday evening, and we will chat you guys a little bit later on. Have a good night, everyone. Peace out.